Hey friends, have you ever thought about having a skill that lets you influence anyone to do what you want? Whether it's your boss, partner, client, or even a stranger? It might sound like magic, but it's really just a clever understanding of the human mind. This book, The Art of Manipulation, dives into that very concept. Let's kick things off with the hard truth. Only 5% of people know how to control the other 95%. These aren't special people, they just understand how the human brain works, while the rest of us are left wondering, why am I not successful? I do good things for everyone, so why do I get betrayed? What makes this book stand out? It's not just another motivational read. It shares insights from people who've learned the ropes of manipulation through real-life experiences, street smarts, and sometimes, hard lessons. The author, R.B. Sparkman, has been through his fair share of scams and deceit. But instead of staying a victim, he decided to learn how manipulators operate. He spent time with con artists, drunks, slick salespeople, and cunning individuals, observing their tricks, and he's laid it all out in this book, raw, bitter, and 100% practical. So, what can you expect from this book? Each chapter introduces a new trick, a psychological weapon. You'll learn how to get people to agree with you without force, how to identify their weaknesses and use them to your advantage, and how to get someone to say yes, without them even realizing it. You might have been in a situation where someone played with your feelings or took credit for your hard work at the office. Now's the time to understand yourself, read others' intentions, and become smarter in every relationship, deal, and interaction in your life. Why should you listen to this audiobook? Because it'll teach you how to turn your words into weapons, how to control situations with charm, and how to increase your power without being ruthless. Manipulation is an art, and mastering it can change your life. Let's start with the first chapter, where we uncover a bitter truth. Only 5% of people know how to manipulate the other 95%. The world is divided into two types of people, those who control others and those who are controlled. Which side are you on? It's a question that echoes in our minds. You might wonder, how does that person always get their way? They get the deals, the compliments, the money, and everyone listens to them. Are they just lucky? Did they come from a wealthy family? Do they have some secret power? Nope. They just have a skill, the skill of manipulation. Why do 95% of people fail? Sparkman observed for years that some people keep winning while others keep losing, even when the effort is the same. He himself faced losses and deception until he decided to figure out who the real players are and how they play the game. He wasn't a business school student or a motivational seminar attendee. He went straight into the world of hustlers, con artists, and clever salespeople in the gritty streets of Houston, where money flows, but so do the tricks. One of the most influential people he met was Hadi, a drunk but a master manipulator. Hadi could change jobs 3 times a day, but whenever he needed to persuade someone, he could make them dance to his tune. Hadi once told Sparkman, there are 2 types of people in the world, those who say, please, listen to me, and those who say, it's your choice, but without me, you are incomplete. That's where the game changes. What do manipulators know that others don't? They understand when someone will say, no, and when they'll say, yes. They know when to stay silent and when to speak up, who to compliment, and who to ignore. They create a need in the other person's mind for their presence. Manipulators aren't magical beings, they're just like you and me. They've mastered the art of understanding human nature, while the other 95% of people react emotionally, always trying to be the good one, worrying about what others think. The bitter truth is that people don't listen to reason, they respond to what makes them feel needed. If you can make someone feel like they need you, you've already won. This chapter teaches us that if you show someone too much that you can't live without them, you'll lose. But if you subtly show that they need you, they'll bend over backward for you. So, what should you do? Start understanding people, not just their words, but their behavior. Never show desperation, even if you're crumbling inside. Increase your value and subtly make others feel it. Most importantly, control your reactions because the real manipulator is the one who can read the other person's moves while hiding their own. Now, it's time to learn how you can join that 5% of people who run the world instead of being part of the 95% who just go along for the ride. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to identify if someone is trying to con you. Have you ever been deceived by someone you did everything for, or had someone who initially seemed trustworthy turn out to be a fraud? If so, it's time to learn how to spot those who cunningly trap you in their web. Sparkman had a roommate named Hadi, who was a clever drunk. One night, Hadi ended up in jail for being drunk. He called Sparkman from jail, saying, "You're my true friend. Just get me out, and I promise I'll pay you back." Sparkman, feeling sympathetic, bailed him out, but the money was never returned. The first warning sign? If someone is overly trusting, they're probably not trustworthy. Hadi kept insisting, "You're my true friend. No one is better than you. I always pay back." But in the real world, those who are genuinely trustworthy don't need to keep saying it. As Shakespeare said, "The lady doth protest too much." When someone repeatedly claims they're honest, it's a red flag. Another red flag? If someone lies to others, they'll lie to you too. Hadi taught Sparkman another lesson: if someone lies to someone else, they'll eventually lie to you. Many people think they might deceive others, but they won't do that to me. But the truth is clear: those who are habitual liars will eventually ensnare you too. The third clue? If someone says, "I was once very wealthy, but I lost everything." Among the 5 con artists Sparkman lived with, every one of them claimed they were once millionaires, but now they couldn't even pay rent. This line is often a sympathy ploy to gain credibility. If someone can't manage money now, their past wealth means nothing. One con artist told Sparkman, "I never betray friends." Sparkman laughed and replied, "You've already ended the friendship." Hadi had a master trick: whenever someone tells the same story twice, compare the details. If the first and second versions don't match, that person is lying and will likely deceive you again. This chapter teaches us, don't trust those who repeatedly say, "Trust me." Those who lie to others will lie to you. Those who claim they were once rich are often the most broke. And those who overreact to small things, like clothing or time, but ignore the big issues are not leaders, they're failures. Learning from every betrayal isn't wisdom. Sometimes, recognizing the signs early is the smartest move. The next chapter will teach you how to make someone your pawn without anger, without force, just by understanding their nature. In chapter 3, we'll discuss the slow emotional build-up with a background tone. Have you ever loved someone so much that you risked your dignity, time, and self-respect for their smile? And that person would lift you up one moment and bring you crashing down the next? Yet, you kept chasing after them. Why? Sparkman once met a girl who was beautiful, confident, and different from everyone else. But when she sat down next to him, he noticed a faint bruise on her eye. When he asked what happened, she simply said, "My boyfriend Bill hit me, but I can't leave him." The shocking part? Bill loved her but also hurt her. He would lift her to the highest heights of love and then drop her down the next day, and despite all that, she kept running after him. Why do people stay connected to those who hurt them? The answer lies in a pigeon cage. A psychological experiment revealed a truth about human nature. A pigeon was placed in a cage with a button. When it pecked the button, it received a food pellet. 3 scenarios were created. If the pigeon got food every time it pressed the button, it eventually lost interest. If it never got food, it stopped trying. But if it got food sometimes, it became obsessed with pressing the button repeatedly. This is called reinforcement, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Bill was playing the same game. He would take the girl to the highest heights of love and then drop her down, just like the pigeon. She became addicted to the uncertainty, not knowing what would happen next. The person who always shows love becomes taken for granted, while the one who gives love and then withdraws becomes addictive. You might have experienced a relationship that kept breaking you down, yet you stayed because that person sometimes gave you what you needed most: attention, love, validation. How do you manipulate this psychology? If you want to subtly control someone, follow these 2 steps. Step 1. Give them some incentive, love, praise, support, or some benefit. Get them used to your positivity. Step 2. Then suddenly withdraw that reinforcement. Create some distance. Go cold. Now, that person will try harder to get your attention. Imagine you message someone daily, and they reply. Then one day, you stop replying. They'll become anxious, wondering what went wrong. If you appreciate an employee daily, they'll start to undervalue you. But if you occasionally praise them, give surprise bonuses, or act a bit tough, they'll work harder to impress you. Just remember, intermittent reinforcement only works if the other person values your praise, love, or money. If you can't make someone happy, it's pointless to withdraw. Bill might not have studied psychology, but he knew the formula: a little love, a little fear, and a little confusion. This chapter teaches us that people don't value what's always available. What keeps them unsure makes them chase after you. Intermittent reinforcement is a psychological weapon that can make people emotionally addicted. Sometimes, it's not love but habit that turns us into someone's pawn. Now, you can create this habit without force or humiliation, just by understanding human behavior. The next chapter will teach you how favoritism works in the world and how you can use it to your advantage. In chapter 4, we'll explore how the world is rife with favoritism. Have you ever wondered why someone who works harder than you doesn't get the promotion? Have you noticed that you speak the truth, yet it's the sweet talkers who win everyone's hearts? If so, you are living in a world where connections matter more than competence. R.B. Sparkman once saw a survey where many successful people, CEOs, managers, entrepreneurs, were asked what the biggest reason for their success was. The most common answer: I built the right relationships. In simple terms, favoritism. Is it wrong? Not really. It's human nature. We all lean towards those we like. Bosses promote those they feel emotionally connected to. Clients deal with those they resonate with. So, understand the game of favoritism. You have two options: either sit and complain about the bias in the world or turn that bias into your strength. Sparkman worked in sales at a classical music radio station. He had a client named Steve, a young businessman who started his own record shop. Steve was competing against big brands without any fancy degrees. Sparkman needed to connect with him, but there was zero rapport. So, what did he do? He asked a simple, honest question: Steve, how did you start this record shop? And just like that, Steve opened up, sharing his struggles and passion. What did Sparkman learn? People love talking about themselves. Steve started to like Sparkman because he brought out his inner hero. That day, Steve not only signed the ad contract but also treated Sparkman to lunch. How do you turn favoritism in your favor? Smile. But make it genuine. Fake smiles are easily spotted. When you smile sincerely at the right moment, people subconsciously connect with you. Smiling is the shortcut to favoritism. Next, give genuine compliments. Compliments that feel real, like, hey, what you said in the last meeting really worked for me. Now, you've become someone worth listening to. Ask 3 questions that let the other person shine. How did you start this business? When did you feel it was the toughest? How did you build your confidence? People crave the chance to share their stories. Give them that opportunity. When someone else becomes the boss's favorite, we call them a sycophant. But when we become favorites, we call ourselves smart networkers. The truth is, it's all about perspective. Change your viewpoint, and the game is yours. The biggest lesson from this chapter? No matter how good you are, if the other person doesn't like you, you'll be left behind. But if you become their favorite in the right way, doors will open for you. The world is biased, but that same bias can become your greatest weapon if you learn to reach people's hearts. In chapter 5, we'll delve into the essence of manipulation. Picture this. It's 7 p.m. in Houston, Texas, at a small trailer office. A guy in a dirty t-shirt, half a beer can in hand, and a mischievous smile. His name is Hadi, the master of mind games. He didn't work, he drank and sold people on cars and land, whether they needed it or not. And the funny part? People thanked him as if he had done them a favor. One day, Sparkman asked Hadi, "What's your secret? How do people never say no to you?" Hadi took a sip of his beer and grinned. "It's simple, brother. I make them feel like they need me, not the other way around." And that's where the real game begins, the root of manipulation. Let's break down the mind trick. When you want something from someone, attention, approval, love, or a deal, you often come off as desperate. And what does human nature say? Those who undervalue themselves are also undervalued by the world. But when you subtly make someone feel that you're the one in control, they start to lean towards saying yes. Hadi had a love hack. He would book a cheap motel room in advance and then go to bars to meet girls. Sparkman asked, "Why book a room beforehand? What if you don't meet anyone?" Hadi laughed and said, "I will meet someone because I give off a vibe that I don't care." And girls flock to those who don't seem desperate. Why does this work? Because people want what they can't have. When you make someone feel like you are a bonus in their life, not a necessity, you become powerful. How does this apply in business? Let's say you are negotiating with a client. If you say, please, we need this deal, you come off as weak. But if you say, if you think we're the right fit, let's work together. If not, no worries, we have other options. The client starts to think, if they're that confident, there must be something to it. And in relationships? Have you noticed that the person who constantly messages and calls often gets ignored? But the one who's busy, who connects occasionally, becomes interesting and mysterious. Desperation repels, independence attracts. Hadi used to say, when a girl says, you don't care about me, it means you've hit the mark. The true meaning of manipulation isn't about force, it's about control through need. When you make someone feel your value, your voice isn't just heard, it's respected. The next chapter will teach you how to appear ignorant while still controlling the situation, without saying a word or fighting. In chapter 6, we'll explore how the meek shall manipulate the earth. Picture this. 5 people in a meeting, all with degrees, dressed sharply, throwing around big words. And then there's a corner where a simple, quiet guy sits, looking a bit timid. But by the end of the meeting, the deal is in his hands. Why? Because he didn't make noise, he quietly held everyone's attention. People often get fooled. We think the loudest, most confident person is the one who runs the show. But the truth is, the most dangerous player is often the one who appears innocent. They go unnoticed, and that's where their strength lies. One day, Hadi and Sparkman were in a cafe when a scruffy-looking guy walked in. Hadi said, look at him. He seems like he knows nothing. But in 5 minutes, he'll get the cafe owner to give him cigarettes on credit and charm a girl by the evening. Sparkman laughed. How? Hadi replied, because he never alerts anyone. He slips in under the radar and slowly picks up on people's weaknesses, getting them in his grasp. How many times have you seen the quietest kid in class top the board or the one who shows off the least get promoted quietly? They play the game with strategy, not noise. Hadi always said, act like you know less than you do. Let others talk. That's when you grab their strings. In business, don't be the loudest in the meeting. Let others speak first. Let their egos shine. Then, when the silence falls, share your thoughts calmly and confidently. People will listen more because you've heard them out. In relationships, don't fight over every little thing. Let the other person think you're naive. But you know when to stay silent and when to reflect their behavior back at them. Learn to win with silence, not words. Hadi once told Sparkman, the quieter you appear, the more girls will see you as a safe zone. Then you'll become the king of their hearts. Being naive doesn't always mean losing. It can be a strategy to bend the world to your will without showing off. Underestimating someone can be your biggest advantage if you know your true strength. Looking innocent doesn't mean you are. It means you're smart enough to navigate without getting caught in others' traps. The next chapter will teach you how to read someone's mind and discover their true motives and feelings. In chapter 7, we'll discuss how to pick a person apart and discover their real motives and feelings. One evening, Sparkman attended a business party. Surrounded by big names and flashy talk, he noticed a man smiling, but his eyes were cold and emotionless. Sparkman asked Hadi, why do I feel uneasy about this guy? He seems nice, and everyone likes him. Hadi replied, because you're reading his emotions, not just his words. The truth often comes from the eyes, not the mouth. The real game is not about what people say but why they say it. What's the underlying motive? It's easy to hear what someone is saying, but understanding why they're saying it is the true art of manipulation. How do you catch someone's real motive? Hadi had some simple yet powerful tools. 1. Watch the pause. What comes after a pause? When someone suddenly stops speaking and then changes the subject, it's a sign that they're hiding something. For example, I borrowed money from him, really means, I needed help. 2. Don't ask directly. Instead of asking, are you using me? Ask indirectly. If someone helps you, do you feel the need to return the favor? This way, their true nature will come out. 3. Look for patterns. Every person has a recurring theme in their conversations. If someone keeps talking about money issues, their motive is likely financial. If they mention trust issues, they might be emotionally unstable. Sparkman once encountered a guy who boasted, I never betray anyone. But when Sparkman asked, if you could make $500 by fooling someone, would you? The guy laughed and said, that's just how the world works. That's when Sparkman realized people reveal their true selves. This chapter teaches us to listen to people's feelings, not just their words. Pay attention to their patterns, pauses, and repeated phrases. Avoid direct questions. Instead, frame them in a way that doesn't make the other person feel defensive. Hadi said, if someone smiles too much, they're either hiding something or just used to showing their teeth. People can change their faces and voices, but their true needs and desires will eventually leak out. You just have to learn to watch closely. In Chapter 8, we'll explore whether it's better to appear trustworthy or intimidating. The biggest benefits often go to those who seem reliable, not just powerful. One day, Sparkman and Hadi visited a farm. Hadi pointed to two cows. One was a calm, brown cow that seemed trustworthy, while the other was a big, muscular cow that always looked angry. Hadi asked, if you needed milk, which one would you go to? Sparkman replied, the calm one, because she seems safe. Hadi smiled and said, and that's the real trick of manipulation. It's not about looking tough, it's about appearing trustworthy. The muscular cow might be strong, but no one approaches her because she's intimidating. The calm cow gives less milk but attracts everyone because she seems safe. Human psychology works the same way. People are inspired by strong individuals but trust those who seem reliable. So, if you want people to come to you, listen to this. Don't be overpowering. People will only approach you if they feel you won't harm them. Hadi told Sparkman, when I tried to act too smart, people distanced themselves. But when I showed my true self, just a little genuine and a little calm, people started opening up to me. In professional settings, this means if you are a boss, leader, or salesperson, if you constantly show authority, people will fear you and keep their distance. But if you appear approachable, warm, and genuine, people will want to be around you, and that's where influence begins. In Chapter 9, we'll discuss how to avoid being taken advantage of in financial dealings. The biggest scams often happen not in love but in money. And the saddest part? The betrayer is often someone close to you, a partner, relative, or friend you trusted with your money. Sparkman once lent $200 to an old friend, believing in their long-standing friendship. The friend promised to pay back in a week, but after a month, his phone was off. Sparkman lost not just money but a friendship too. So, who was at fault? Hadi said, it's not your fault, it's your understanding that was lacking. You didn't realize what mask people wear when they ask for money. Tactic 1. Never listen to someone's philosophy. Look at their track record. When someone says, I always pay back honestly, remember that those who are genuinely honest don't need to keep proving it. Tactic 2. If you must lend money, consider it a gift, not a loan. Hadi said, if you give money expecting it back, you are already at a loss. But if you assume it's gone, you won't be hurt, and the other person will feel guilty. Tactic 3. Set conditions when lending money to instill guilt. Sparkman once lent $100 to a friend, saying, when you feel financially better, return it because I was going to use it for bills. The friend returned the money shortly after because he felt he was repaying Sparkman's kindness. In business dealings, if someone becomes overly sweet, be cautious. If they say, we'll see later, they likely don't intend to pay you back. If they say, you're my brother, what's money? That's a line that will hurt you later. If you're lending money to a relative, either put it in writing or prepare yourself mentally that the money is gone. Hadi said, if someone says, you won't understand, it's a clear sign they're about to ask for money. This chapter teaches us to look at a person's past before lending money, not their promises. Don't let emotions cloud your judgment. Only lend money when you're mentally prepared for the loss. Money doesn't test a person, it reveals who they truly are. In Chapter 10, we'll explore how to manipulate someone's thinking, how to plant your ideas in their mind without force or argument. Have you ever tried to convince someone of something, but they wouldn't listen? Then someone else comes along, says the same thing, and they agree immediately. You're left wondering, why didn't they listen to me? The answer lies in how, when, and in what tone you said it. Mind control. It's not magic, it's science. Hadi said, people don't listen with their minds, they listen with their egos. If you can bypass their ego, you can change their way of thinking without a fight. Once, Sparkman tried to convince a friend that the business he was investing in was a scam. The friend got defensive, thinking Sparkman was jealous. A few days later, the same friend heard the same thing from someone else and agreed. Sparkman didn't get angry. Hadi smiled and said, "Sometimes, the truth teller seems wrong if they touch the other person's ego." Tactic 1. Don't argue. If you want to manipulate someone, don't debate with them. Instead, gently shift their thinking. Instead of saying, "You're wrong," say, "I see your point, but have you considered it from another angle?" This way, you're not attacking their ego, and they're more likely to be open to your perspective. Tactic 2. Timing is everything. Hadi's rule was to avoid explaining things when someone is angry. Instead, wait until they're calm, tired, or vulnerable because people make decisions based on emotions, not logic. Tactic 3. Silence is louder than arguments. Sometimes, staying quiet is more effective than trying to win a debate. When you remain silent, the other person starts to think, and that's when their perspective can change. Hadi said, "You can't win someone over by defeating them in an argument. But if you make them feel like a hero, they'll accept your viewpoint." This chapter teaches us not to tell people they're wrong. Instead, help them realize there are other ways to think. Don't touch their ego, just gently guide them. In chapter 11, we'll discuss how to win 95% of your arguments. Arguments often start from the heart and end up on the ego. The winner isn't the one who shouts the loudest but the one who quietly enters the other person's mind and defeats them in their own words. One day, Sparkman and Hadi were at a cafe when they saw two people arguing. One was shouting, while the other remained calm, smiling, and responding with logic. 10 minutes later, the loud one fell silent. Hadi smiled and said, "To win, you need brains, not brawn. So, how can you win arguments without losing your cool?" Hadi shared some killer tactics. Tactic 1. Avoid starting with, "You're wrong." As soon as you say that, the other person becomes defensive and stops listening. Instead, say, "I see your point, but I have a different perspective." Tactic 2. Show some agreement first, then share your viewpoint. Hadi said, "First, let them feel understood, then gently introduce your perspective. For example, you're right that people change over time, but I believe some things deepen with time." Tactic 3. Use questions, not statements. If you say, "This method is wrong," it leads to an argument. But if you ask, "Have you considered looking at it from a different angle?" you make them think. In a client meeting, Sparkman once politely disagreed with a senior manager. The manager got angry, but Sparkman calmly said, "Sir, you make a valid point. But if we consider this option, we might double our results." The manager calmed down and said, "I hadn't thought of that angle." In relationships, when arguing with a partner, avoid saying, "You always do this." Instead, say, "When this happens, I feel hurt. What do you think?" Now, the conversation shifts from blame to sharing. In team discussions, instead of pushing your point, say, "Let's explore both ideas and then decide." Now, you appear as a leader, not an egotist. Hadi said, "If someone goes silent in an argument, it means either you've won or they're plotting their revenge." In chapter 12, we'll explore how to manipulate a person against their will and make them like it. This power is invisible but affects everyone. You can defeat the mind, but if you can make someone think your idea was theirs, they'll accept it. Sparkman was at a party where a guy argued that ads on TV are foolish and no one believes them. Sparkman didn't say a word. The guy then asked, "What do you do?" Sparkman replied, "I create those ads, and they generate millions in sales." The guy was taken aback. Then, the guy said, "I agree. Many ads are foolish, but some touch the heart, like that tea ad with the mother and son." Sparkman smiled, and the conversation shifted. Now, they were on the same side. The master rule of manipulation? People don't accept things against their will. But if you can slightly bend their will, they'll think it was their idea all along. Tactic 1. Win arguments without arguing. Hadi said, "To win, don't cut off their words. Just slightly bend them. Don't say, 'You're wrong.' Instead, say, 'What you're saying is valid, but there's something else to consider.' Tactic 2. Use their thoughts. Frame your ideas around what they already believe. For example, if someone says, 'I don't need motivation,' you can say, 'That's true, and maybe that's why you stand out from the rest.' But have you thought about how to inspire others? Tactic 3. Use the yes set technique. Hadi taught that if you can get someone to say yes 3 times, they're more likely to agree with your fourth statement. For example, people trust you, right? Yes. When you speak, people take you seriously, right? Yes. You have logical thinking, right? Yes. So, I have an idea that might interest you. Once, Hadi needed to collect a debt from a client who had been avoiding him for 6 weeks. Instead of asking for the money directly, he said, "You are a smart guy, which is why I borrowed from you. I know you're someone who keeps commitments." Now, even if the guy didn't want to pay, he felt he had to because his image was at stake. If a partner or friend doesn't listen to you, don't say, "You should do this." Instead, ask, "How would you feel if you did this?" Or, "I think you could do this even better." Now, they feel like they're making the decision. Hadi said, people can change their minds. Just make them feel like they're the ones who changed it. This chapter teaches us that people don't like orders, but they respect opinions. If you want someone to agree with you, they should feel like it was their idea. In chapter 14, we'll discuss how to recognize and stop ungrateful people before they start. A bitter but true fact, the deepest wounds often come from those you've given the most to. You've given time, money, respect, and trust, and what do you get in return? Forgetfulness or betrayal. Sparkman once helped an old friend start a business, providing $200 worth of raw materials and using his contacts to help market it. That friend repeatedly said, "You've made my dream come true. I'll be grateful forever." But a few months later, that same friend teamed up with another investor behind Sparkman's back, erasing his name from the story. Hadi shook his head and said, "It's not your fault for being helpful. It's your fault for letting gratitude become an entitlement." Understand human nature. When you help someone repeatedly, they start to see it as their right. "I deserve this." Repeated favors turn gratitude into entitlement. Tactic 1. Never show favors as free. If you're helping someone, frame it as a favor, not a gift. Don't say, "No problem, it's nothing for me." Instead, say, "I'm doing this because you matter to me. I hope you understand." Now, the other person will see it as a favor, not a right. Tactic 2. Set limits from the start. Hadi said, the day you start helping without conditions is the day they see you as always available. So, whether it's a friend, relative, or client, after your first help, clarify, "I did this because it was needed, but it's not a daily thing." This way, your silence won't be taken for granted. In relationships, if a partner, friend, or sibling keeps taking advantage of your kindness, say, "I'm always here for you, but I'm not a robot. I have feelings too." Your humanity will make them feel guilty, and they'll start to value you again. Once, a colleague kept asking Sparkman for notes in every meeting. Sparkman kept sharing, but one day, that colleague took Sparkman's ideas and claimed them as his own to get promoted. Hadi said, when you keep giving without limits, people stop giving you credit. That's when boundaries become necessary. Hadi said, if you keep giving someone milk, they'll start to see you as a cow, not a person. This chapter teaches us to help but not let it become a habit. The feeling of gratitude is essential, otherwise, people will see it as their right. Setting limits isn't bad, it's wise. Because without limits, people forget your worth. Sometimes, you become someone's entire world, and then they start to see you as just an item in their pocket. There's no shame in giving to others, but remember, it's better to protect yourself and give a little than to lose yourself trying to please everyone. That's the essence of The Art of Manipulation, a skill that starts with understanding people and ends with knowing how to manage yourself. In this audiobook, you've learned how to control people without saying a word, how to plant your ideas in their minds, how to protect yourself from the wrong people, and how to turn every relationship, deal, and interaction in your favor. But the most important takeaway? Manipulation doesn't mean deception, it means becoming so wise that no one can deceive you. Now it's your turn. If this book has inspired you or taught you something new, like and share this video, and subscribe to our channel, 7 PM on Do Book, where you'll find books that can elevate your thinking, strategy, and life. Remember, changing others is tough, but if you change your own thinking, the world will start to follow your lead. Thank you for your time, attention, and trust. It means the world to us. See you in the next book with a new lesson, a new story, and a fresh perspective. Until then, think wisely and live cleverly.